Welcome to San Antonio's Influence Magazine show, the premier talk show where we introduce you to influential individuals doing significant work in the city of San Antonio and surrounding areas. Celebrate the spirit of business, leadership, and innovation. We're at the Bevy Hotel in beautiful Boerne, Texas. We're here to talk to abstract artist Bob Lombardi, whose art is all throughout the hotel. Let's go talk to Bob. Welcome to the show.
Cedric,
Good to see
how are
you
you?
again. Absolutely
Nice to
great.
see you again.
So let's take a look at this painting here. Describe what we're looking at.
Well, we're looking at a painting called Peekaboo. As I paint and see what's developing, I get a feeling of the name of the painting. This painting happened to look like it was peeking out at me, so I call it Peekaboo. It was also selected by Netflix to be on one of their shows called Selling Sunset.
Bob, how would you describe your artistic style?
Well, naturally, every artist has their own way of doing things. My way is the way that I've created in my paintings today that people appreciate. I enjoy and love painting. I think that joy and the love that I'm putting into my paintings creates the look, creates the style of what I'm doing. That's how you always, I know I always look to develop a style, develop a way of painting, and that comes naturally when you're painting and you continue to paint.
So how would you describe the creative process then from thought or concept to completion?
Okay.
What's that process look like?
Right. Well, my process is I go by everyday life and what I see in shapes and the environment. It creates basic abstraction to me. If I'm looking at a tree, I'll see the branches elevate and go around and twist. And that, to me, creates a movement of visual movement that I can take and use in my paintings, which I do. I do that. If I see a shape that interests me, I'll just remember it, and that point, it may come up naturally, or I'll work on it deliberately. I'm doing one right now where I look at it and it's been on my mind, and I said I need to do this shape and I need to do this feeling, and I started the painting. It's in my studio right now. Yeah. So it all depends on how you look at it, and that's how I look at it from everyday life of what I'm looking at.
Yeah. You've educated us before. Of course, you've been on the show before. You educated us on
Yes.
abstract and kind of what you see, and that abstract is really in the eye of the beholder. So are there times where you just may be somewhere in nature and see something and it gives you a concept of an idea of something to paint?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I get it from everything. I get it from people, I get it from architecture, I get it from nature. All that kind of mixes together, and you think about it and you put it into shapes, you put it into your imagination, then it comes out, because abstract painting comes from inside. It comes from the heart, comes from the soul.
Yeah.
And you develop it and put it on canvas. That's the way I do it, the way I work.
For the benefit of our viewers, define abstract, just that word. So a lot of folks have heard it at times, but they never really understood exactly what it
Right.
means.
Well, a lot of people will look at an abstract painting and say, I really don't understand it and what it is. I don't get it. Well, abstract painting is something that you see through your eyes and it enters the mind, and your mind decides whether you're going to like it or you hate it, whatever it is. But abstract painting is something, a visual that you look at and you enjoy. You enjoy the colors, you enjoy the movement, you enjoy the surroundings, how it makes you feel. You can feel happy, which a lot of times happens with my paintings. Yellow is very optimistic and makes you feel up. There are colors that makes you feel down. I believe that what I try to do in my paintings is create some kind of reaction to the person that's looking at it. I had one gentleman who was looking at my painting, and he said, total chaos. And I said to him, that is great. My painting made you feel something.
Yeah.
You felt.
That was the goal.
Right, that was the goal.
Yeah.
I hit it. I reached him.
Yeah.
Okay, he may not think that, but absolutely, that was the case.
So you use the word movement,
Mm-hmm.
and an abstract painting is kind of progressive, right? It's always moving, and
Yes,
you may look at it, it's so subjective, you may look at it one day in a certain mood, and the next day you see something completely different.
absolutely.
It kind of grows
Yes.
on you.
Yes, it happens to me. It happens to people that buy my paintings will tell me all the time, I see all kinds of different things. I love it because it makes me feel and see things that I didn't see the day before. It's just that way. It's the way I paint, and the way people look at it, and they see different things. They do.
Yeah. And each day that could change.
Every day changes.
Every day it changes. Yeah.
Every day changes. It's unbelievable. One day you'll see something that reminds you and looks like something, and the next day it's gone. Something else takes its place. That's what's amazing about abstract painting. Because if you have a landscaping, and there are beautiful landscapes, paintings, it's a landscape, and it's the same way the next day and the next day. But when you're doing an abstract, it comes from a total feeling of the inside of an artist and how they feel about what they're painting, and that's hard to duplicate.
Last time you were on the show, I asked a question about colors. And we got a lot of great feedback from that one question. A lot of folks remember the show just based on that question. So
Right.
Can you kind of explain to us again the effect of different colors? I think you started with like red and its effect, and then you went down the line.
Oh, yes. Red. I think mostly people are affected by red. Red really does a lot to people. It could make you feel passionate. It could make you feel depressed. It could make you feel just about all kinds of different ways, especially if you're in a red room. You look around and it makes you feel, it changes your behavior.
Yeah.
Okay, you can get angry from red. Like I said, you can get passionate from red. Black will give you a different kind of feeling. Black is kind of a very formal look. Today, there's a lot of black and white. Black, white. And that's the trend. Yellow, I mentioned before, was very optimistic. You can feel real happy with red. Blue, very calming effect. Very calm.
Yeah.
You'll get water, makes you feel calm. Sky makes you feel calm. Blue. Green was a mixture of yellow and blue, but green, people like to feel very nature, like outdoor kind of feeling. But I've had some experiences where people actually are affected by the colors. They react to it. There was one, I don't know if I said it on the last show, but I put a painting in an office and it was red. The secretary was being affected by this red color, and I had to remove it and put a blue painting there.
So this was a red painting in an office environment?
Right. The VP called me and said, "Bob, you got to remove that painting because my secretary is going home in a bad mood, and she doesn't know why, but she thinks it's the painting." So I said, "Okay." So I changed the painting to a blue painting, and she said, "Well, now she's happy days again." So that's how it affects people.
Yeah. This is kind of a tough question, but how do you know that a painting is finished?
Funny, Life magazine asked Jackson Pollock that same question. They said, "How do you know when a painting is finished?" Well, I won't tell you what he said, but what I say is a painting is never finished. I always go back, and I always have something to add to it or take away, or if a color is disturbing me, then I will fix that. That's why I always feel that a painting is never really done.
Never done.
It's never done.
Yeah.
Sometimes it sits for 6 months, and it's always bothering me, a particular line or color, and I go back and I fix it and I feel better.
So we're sitting at the Bevy Hotel here in Boerne, Texas, surrounded by all these wonderful paintings of yours. We'll have them in the show here. Are you satisfied that they're done? They're finished?
Yes, they are done.
Okay, so you're at peace that they're complete.
They are done. Yeah,
Right.
I'm satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but each painting has a story. It does. Like we have a painting back in the entranceway. 1957 is the name. Why is it called 1957? Well, that particular time, the abstract movement was Wilhelm D. Clooney and Jackson Pollock, and they were called action painters. That painting, I believe, shows a lot of that action in it, so that's why I call it 1957.
Okay. That's interesting because the name of the painting is just as important as kind of the artwork itself.
I always, when I name a painting, it comes to me naturally, and it usually is the first name that I think about when I'm painting it, because it's the strokes of the painting, it's the colors I'm using and the direction I'm going in that develops that name. And I try to be a little bit more creative on the name and put a little fun into it. Jackson Pollock, he never named his paintings. He wanted the viewer to actually decide what this painting looks like to him.
What they're looking at.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
We're going to take a quick break.
Yeah.
We're here with abstract artist Bob Lombardi. We'll be right back. So Bob, describe this piece here.
it's called a brushless painting. I don't use a brush on this particular painting. I use a piece of paper towel roll and I dip it in my paint and I paint. This painting is called Time. Time.
Time.
There's the moon, there's the sun, there's the wind, there's the sea, there's all kinds of movement together. Also, over here, I actually removed a piece of the cardboard that I was painting with
Okay.
and adhered it to the painting so that when people look at my painting, they can see what I used to paint this picture with. I always think about if we found a hair or two in a Van Gogh painting, what that would be like, to know that. So here, they can have an actual piece of my material that I used to make this painting. There was one here, there's one there. They're in several spots on the painting.
Kind of adds texture as well, a different texture.
Yeah, there's different textures.
Yeah. Is there any specific, or maybe you can share with us a specific challenge you've run into as an abstract artist and how you've overcome that challenge?
I guess it's how you approach your canvas. When I approach my canvas, I think about all of the ideas that I've had and my anticipation of doing a painting. The challenge is always there on how I make it better, how I do it different, how I'm going to succeed in making a better piece of art than the one before it. So that challenge to me is when I finish a painting that I really succeed in doing what I really wanted to do. Making it better than the last painting, making it different than the last painting, and loving it as much as I did the last painting. Because when I finish a painting, I need to love it and hope that the person that looks at it or buys it is going to feel that way too. Because that's most important to me, is the end result in seeing that the person that buys it is absolutely happy with their choice in the painting. It's great to see somebody get really excited about owning a painting of mine.
Yeah.
That is the challenge, to get that person to be happy. Because that's what it's all about, happy. You know, I like to make people happy when they look at my work. That's it.
Yeah, or generate some sort of emotion from them.
Emotion.
Yeah.
Always emotion.
That's important.
Yeah. That's what's great about abstract painting.
Okay. We're here today to talk about your series, The Twist. How did you get inspired to do that series?
That is a very cute story. I was on a flight. I don't remember exactly where, but it was a long flight, about 3 hours. And the stewardess gave out cookies that had a twist on it. And going back a few years, they called them stewards. Mm-hmm. Today they call them flight attendants. Anyway, she gave me a bag of cookies and it had a wire twist on it. So I undid the twist and I looked at it on my table, and it was very interesting the way the twist moved and shaped and all kinds of things. So I started to sketch it on the flight. I came up with some pretty interesting sketches. So I said, well, when I get home, I'm going to do a painting of the twist. So I did my first painting of the twist. And then I did a second painting and a third painting. And I got a tremendous review from a art critic. And that inspired me to do more twist paintings. And so today, I'm doing a one-man show on the twist, and there are 26 paintings on the twist. So I think that you'll see all kinds of colors, and all kinds of movements, all kinds of real beautiful graphics in the twist. So there is a story behind the development of these paintings. It's a concept. It's a, an absolute concept. And I took that concept and developed it into an abstract painting.
You have one with you, right? Can you
Yes, I do.
Just kind of
I have
show us what
one of the original, it's a small painting. There are many twist paintings that are large. They're like 4 by 4, 4 feet by 4 feet.
Yeah.
This is a smaller painting.
Here, I'll hold it up and maybe you can kind of show us what we're...
It's this way.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And this is one of the small versions, but you'll find that the colors are interesting and they have very unusual names. Like from the series of the larger paintings, the 4 by 4, they are names like, because it's blue, it's tsunami. Because it's white, it's show off white. There's all kinds of beautiful names to it.
Yeah.
That's at the show.
Okay. And you just corrected me in terms of how this should be positioned, right? So there is a direction. This is right side up.
Right.
Instead of
right.
that. Okay. Okay.
And I do see a difference when that happens.
Yeah.
If you paint it that way, that's the best way to show it.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah. Well, my name on the bottom also helps.
There you go. Okay, great. And you said there's 26 in the series.
Yes. Yeah. So there's a regular twist, which is this part of the regular twist. Then there's the innocent twist.
Yep.
And the innocent twist shows how the twist works on every day.
Okay.
Like around cellophane and around wires, how it holds together certain items. Then we have girly twist. Girly twist is my own female gal that I developed in this series of the girly twist.
Okay.
There are 4 of them. Yes. Right now there's 4 of them.
So you took something as elementary as a twist and came up with 26 different versions of it.
Yes. Well, Picasso did 50, I believe it was 53 paintings on small people.
Okay.
So if he did 53, I can do 26 of the twist.
Yeah, very interesting. What's been your most meaningful art project thus far? Or is it the twist?
It is a twist, but in every art project to me, it's very important and very different because it's the way I approach it. I approach it by trying to make it better than the last one and make it different than the last one. And sometimes there's a lot of contemplation. You got to think about it a while. But sometimes as I'm painting, I might think about the next painting by just simply what I'm achieving in this painting says, I should do it differently on the next painting. And that's what I do. I do it different or better or whatever.
Okay. We're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the next generation of artists. We're here with Bob Lombardi, abstract artist. We'll be right back.
My name is Anastasio Caballero Hernandez. I was a man of simple beginnings, with calloused hands from hard labor and a heart full of words waiting to be spoken. Through cotton fields and restless nights, I dreamed of something more, of love, of family, of leaving behind a legacy greater than myself. These poems are my soul on paper, stories of perseverance, sacrifice, and the unbreakable bonds of family. Today, my daughter Consuelo brings these words to life in a way I could only have imagined. This is my heart, my story, my gift to you. Welcome to My Daddy, Poems from the Heart.
This painting describes how I feel about colors and movement. It's called Stir It. I stirred this up as much as I could to get a feeling of direction and movement and color, all in one painting. My idea is to take the viewer into the painting and move them around, come around, take them to the end of the painting, in and out. So there is a purpose in my direction and how I do it.
Bob, what advice would you have for the next generation of artists or aspiring artists?
Well, Cedric, it's a little different these days because a lot of artwork is done on the computer. Different programs that allow you to do different things that are just mechanical. I believe that if a person, and I get this question a lot, and a lot of mothers bring their children to me and say, what advice do you have for my son or daughter? Mm-hmm. And I say, learn as much as you can, read as much as you can, and practice your art every day. If you love it, you will develop it, and that will give you inspiration to go on and be better and better every day. It's what I call it is the fire in your belly. And when you have that fire in your belly, you just keep on working as hard as you can. And then eventually, it'll pay off, and you'll see the results when you get to a point where you're serious about being an artist, because it takes a long time, a lot of hours, and a lot of devotion to be an artist.
So practice, practice,
Practice,
Paint.
practice, practice.
Paint every day if you can.
Practice. And go to museums, read books. That's your best bet to see what's going on.
Yeah. Has technology affected the business, the industry, in a great way, or a good way, or a not so good way?
Depends on how you look at it. There are some people that love to do artwork on the computer and are very successful at it. It's a whole different type of artwork.
Yeah.
When you're working on a computer, working on a computer is very mechanical, very sterile most of the time.
Mm.
The creativity could be there, but it's mostly when you labor over it with your paint and brushes and canvas.
Yeah.
That's when you do true art. I know I was a traditional artist, and I painted landscapes and products and different things. But there was something missing in what I was doing. I didn't know what. But as I went into abstraction, I developed a certain satisfaction and a love that made me feel like a true artist. But that's me. There are artists that get a great pleasure out of painting a landscape, but my true feeling is abstract, because as I went back to look at some of my traditional paintings, I noticed that there was an abstraction in the actual painting that I didn't realize before, but it was there. And then I started looking at my other paintings, and yes, it was there.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy and very fortunate that I was able to discover that particular thing in my life as an artist, because today I feel like a true artist.
If there was one single word that you would choose to describe the overall feeling that you want a viewer or an appreciator to, if that's a word, to have, what would that word be and why?
Communication.
Communication.
I feel that with communication, and that happens a lot with my paintings, because some of the people that look at my paintings always feel that they're communicating in some way with this painting. And that's a great feeling, to know that I'm reaching that audience of mine that will say, this painting, I had somebody that said, this painting, I feel like it's talking to me. So, yeah, that's communication.
Communication.
Communication and love. If I can achieve that, I'm great.
Okay. What's next on your agenda? What's coming up that our viewers maybe want to be aware of?
Well, on February 7th this year, I'm having a one-man show on the Twist at the Bevy Hotel in Boerne, Texas. There are 26 pieces that all on the Twist, and in different subject matters. There are sculptures there of the twist, and there are large paintings and small paintings, and it's very different than a regular art show where you have different artists and different subject matters. This is one subject in different ways.
Okay. And if folks want to follow up with you or get more information on you as an artist or even on the event, can they go to your website or?
Absolutely. It's called Lombardi, theloveofcolor.com.
Thank you for coming on the show, Bob.
Thank you for having me.
See you all next time.
If this is your first time joining us and you'd like more information, you could find us at influencesa.com. That's INFLUENCESA.com. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest. And for this particular episode of the show, all future and past episodes of the show, pull up your YouTube search bar, toss in San Antonio's Influence Magazine show. That word is critical. Get that word in there. When you get there, please subscribe, give us a like or a thumbs up, but hit that bell so that you don't miss any future episodes of the show.